So, as we know, social media does not exist in a 9-to-5 world. Oh, sorry. It is, however, our opportunity to tell our story, engage with our patrons, and get results. My name is Ashley Heriberta, and I'm the Senior Officer of Digital Communications at the National Ballet of Canada. Like you saw, we're located in Toronto, Ontario, home of the 2019 NBA champions. They're proud. And Drake. Yep. We are Canada's premier dance company. Our company is made up of 70 dancers, a full orchestra of 70 musicians, and about 100 administrative and production staff. Our company is led by Artistic Director Karen Kane, who is currently celebrating her 50th anniversary with the company this season. Yeah. We have an operating budget of $35 million, with 40% coming from our box office revenue, 40% from fundraising, and 20% from government grants. Compelling storytelling is the most important aspect of creating these deep and engaging connections with our audience. Our digital platforms tell the story of what a daily life at a ballet company is like, giving a window into the lives of our artists and all of the elements that go on behind the scenes to bring that magic that is seen on stage. As we've heard, it's all about great content. We create about 100 videos each season, and we continuously repurpose our content. And we take a lot of photos, about 3,000 each season to be exact. So we photograph each production twice, as well as rehearsals, dancer portraits, and our marketing photos each year. So today, I'm going to walk you through the digital campaign that we did last year for the blockbuster hit, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Now, with its recognizable characters and colorful sets and costumes, we knew we had a unique opportunity to create content that was more shareable, relatable, and showcase the wonder of the ballet. So we know that digital platforms are all about the visuals. Now in ballet, we're lucky because the art form is already incredibly visual, but we happen to work with some not too bad looking people. They look like this in real life too. So we start our asset audit and planning well in advance, about a year out from the season. It's really important for us to see what it is that we have so we can identify what we need to create. Alice made its North American premiere at the company in 2011, so we were lucky that we already had a lot of great content. So reviewing in the images and video that we already have, we can identify what it is that we want to create. There's a variety of reasons why this is important. For example, a dancer might retire, so we need a new White Rabbit, or we have videos that might need some minor repurposing to make them usable. We also ask some standard questions at this time to help guide this process, such as, are any of our dancers celebrating anniversaries? Will any of the artistic team be visiting Toronto? And so on. So in doing this audit, we identified that we had 4 great videos that required only minor changes to make them usable, which is great budget-wise. Like I said, we also had a lot of rehearsal photos and stage images that we could use. So now that we know what we have, we need to look at what we need to create to make that more fulsome story. What we're doing, though, is also being proactive. A year out from the season, we have the experience of the digital campaign from our previous season. This way, we're able to identify what's working best for our audience and pivot and act accordingly. So we decided we were going to make 3 new videos. First, a video with our principal dancer, Jillian Vanstone, on returning to the role of Alice. Second, a more playful video with dating tips from our Queen of Hearts. And third, a video showcasing our tapping Mad Hatter. So after looking at what we need to create a more fulsome story, we have to identify how and when we're going to capture everything. Now this part takes a lot of planning, as we need to make sure we are maximizing every opportunity that we have. For example, if choreographer Christopher Wheeldon is only in Toronto for a week, we need to make sure that we're photographing him in the studio with our dancers, as well as we need to schedule an interview with him. So at the National Ballet, we continue to experiment. Not only do we look to our counterparts, like all of you, for inspiration, we also get a lot of great ideas from retailers. So when on Instagram they introduced the swipe up feature and we saw retailers using this, we were all over it. When we saw retailers using the shopping feature, we jumped on the call with Capacity to see how we could get it. Now, while this feature still isn't available to us, unfortunately, we've incorporated link in bio in the meantime. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of what link in bio is, it lets you build a clickable, shoppable landing page in the link within your Instagram account. This way, we can control each photo where we're directing our audience to, and we control the URL. We've also tried pretty much every ad type available to us to see what works best for our audience. Okay, so we have beautiful photos and images. We have a compelling story to tell with Alice because it's so visual and it is a recognizable story, but that's not enough. We need to be strategic with how we're rolling out our story. So we launched our paid campaign on Facebook and Instagram 2 months out from opening night. We start every campaign with a Facebook event. Now, for those of you who aren't utilizing this tool for your paid campaigns, it's a great way to boost engagement, get people talking, and keep your audience in the know. So when you created a Facebook event, all of your Facebook followers are alerted. When they click interested or attending, then all their followers are alerted. So this allows us to capture large pools of people right at the beginning of our campaign that we can retarget throughout. Attendees also receive notifications when you post an update. So we utilize this feature to post best availability as well as casting updates. On the back end, we also add all the keywords to help make the event findable and searchable. What we also do is enable the feature which allows people to post in the Facebook event. Essentially, you have to think, the more active that the event looks, the more populated it looks, obviously the more excited we're going to be about attending. Next, we go strong at the beginning of every campaign with a video. So it's important that we start strong. So if you don't have a video, you can always use your marketing image. So this was our image that we used in our bus and transit shelter ads throughout Toronto, so it was identifiable. From there, we start delving into the story behind this great ballet, showing exactly what it takes to bring this production to life. We bring the audience on a journey with us. We start by showing what the rehearsal process is and beginning to share a little bit of what the ballet is like. From there, we move into the production center and show building the sets, and then show what moving into our theater looks like. From there, we're behind the scenes, and then finally, we're on stage. So all of these elements are going into that overall story that we're telling. We almost completely remove the sales messaging, but we always include the link to the production page. What we're doing is we're making content that's more about a story rather than just selling a ticket to a show. Videos tend to be our top performing content on social, like we've heard today. However, for Alice, our imagery performed equally as strong for obvious reasons. So we shot backstage portraits of our dancers to show the larger-than-life characters and the colorful costumes. Our dancers also had a lot of fun with this. We also used recognizable quotes from Lewis Carroll's classic tale with the coinciding characters in the ballet. Creating timely content also proved to be extremely successful. So like I mentioned earlier, for Valentine's Day, we created a more fun and playful video with dating tips from our Queen of Hearts. So we had a huge positive response with people sharing the video and tagging their friends. This video reached over 200,000 people and had over 80,000 views. It was shared over 135 times and had over 50 comments alone on Facebook. Now for context, our average video shares is about 60, so this was an increase of 116%. Creating relevant content that's mirroring what is happening in society is also important for us. So for the first time ever, a female dancer was cast as a tapping Mad Hatter. Again, this was a role that had only ever been performed by men in the past. So we knew this was a unique story that was going to garner interest and attention, and we wanted to be the ones to share it. So we created a video which showcased the tapping Mad Hatter and Chelsea Meese in the role. This video reached over 157,000 people and had over 70,000 unique views. However, it was shared over 225 times, but more so, it was picked up by pretty much every media outlet within the city of Toronto. So we know it costs far more to attract new audiences. We know that it costs far more to attract new audiences than it does to retain our existing ones. Yet we all find ourselves spending a lot of our digital budget on attracting those new audiences. So with this campaign, we wanted to create a more fulsome community. We wanted to foster those relationships with both our new as well as our existing customers. So previously, when someone purchased a ticket, we were looking at it as a win, and we were completely removing them from our targeting list. Essentially, we were ignoring them until they came into the theater. So for the first time, we decided to experiment, and we put a small budget towards a delight campaign on Facebook and Instagram. The goal of this was to provide our current ticket buyers with engaging and compelling Alice content with the hope of keeping them excited leading up to their performance date. So the content used for this Delight Audience campaign was the same great content that we're using for our acquisition campaigns, as well as organic social posts. What we did do was switch up the copy to make it even more fun and playful. And again, we always included that link to that production page. We spoke to this audience. We asked them questions. We shared them facts about the production. We gave them all that great video content that we were creating. Now, the goal of this was to help build more engagement. What we didn't expect was to sell more tickets. So not only did we see 3,000 key page views and 3,000 post engagements with this content, well, we also sold 109 tickets to this audience. Now, as a reminder, these are people who had already purchased tickets to Alice. They either went back to purchase another ticket to see a different cast, or they went to buy a ticket for a friend and family. This resulted in a 2,000% return on investment. No. So, I know, it's shocking. So, even more surprising, we sold 54 subscription packages. So this was a very important and strategic step in moving our patrons along on their journey. By serving this delight audience with interesting and compelling content, we turned single ticket buyers to multi-ticket buyers and subscribers, resulting in an additional $76,000 in revenue. It was. So like I said, our ticket buyers are our most engaged audience. So we continue to create touch points specific to enhancing their patron journey. We do this before a performance as well as after. So Ballet News Plus is the news section on our website. It provides all the upcoming information about what's on stage, as well as interviews with artists, our community outreach activities, and more. Ballet News Plus grew out of the SEO audit that we completed last season. The goal was we wanted to populate our site with authoritative content with the hope of boosting our SEO. But what we also wanted to do was embrace the digital shift, the media trends to the digital shift. The news industry does not look like what it did a decade ago. So we've embraced this shift and we've become our own news hub with our own stories to tell. So in Toronto, we have numerous seasoned art critics who are well-versed in ballet and dance, as well as our company. They're on our opening night list and they frequently attend, but in the media trend that we're seeing from full-time staff writers to freelancers, their reviews are just becoming fewer and farther between. So for Ballet News Plus, we commission these writers who already have a love of the art form and are knowledgeable to write articles for us. We offer them a small honorarium as well as tickets to a performance. This content serves so many purposes for us. We use it on our website, in our emails, sometimes in our house programs. It also provides us with great content that we can use for our third-party posts on social. So for our audience, when we use the swipe up feature on Instagram stories, our audience uses it. We get the same amount of click-throughs, whether it's an article linking to the Globe and Mail, the New York Times, or Ballet News Plus. Knowing this, we post articles on Instagram stories and on Twitter while a patron is coming to the theater, during intermission, and after. What we're doing is providing our most engaged audience with information they would otherwise have to go searching for. We know how much more powerful an editorial voice is. We leverage our content across our platforms, and we present it as third-party content. We control the message, we control the timing, and we speak authoritatively about ourselves. So following every campaign, we do a thorough analysis to show the success of our strategy. This is a concrete, data-driven way of showing what it is that we've accomplished. We look at the success of posts by looking at a number of things, such as profile views, overall reach, click-throughs to the website, and more. Of course, we also capture the data that Capacity provides us with, such as a number of leads generated, total conversions, and total revenue. We also summarize every report by showing what it is that we've learned. We list what those lessons are and how those strategies how those lessons are going to help our future campaign strategies. So I'm sure you want to know what our results were for Alice. So we achieved our aggressive $2.1 million goal for Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Our social campaign reached over 1 million unique users, drove over 1,600 purchases for over $462,000 in revenue for a return on investment of 580%. So to recap, here are how you can implement these to create your own successful social media strategies. So one, always begin with an asset audit so you know what you're starting with, and that can help identify what it is that you're going to create. Remember, don't be afraid to try new things. From there, be strategic with how you roll your story out. Our suggestion is to start every campaign with a Facebook event so you can capture those large pools of people right at the beginning that you can continue to retarget throughout your campaign. Start your campaign off strong with either a video, and if not, your marketing image. Time your content to give an accurate story of what is happening in the studio as well as on stage. And don't forget about your ticket buyers. Consider incorporating a delight campaign to keep them engaged throughout their journey. Consider creating a news hub of in-depth content that you can provide your audience members with more information. And finally, do a thorough analysis to show what it is you've accomplished, what you've learned, and decide how those future lessons are going to help impact your future campaign strategies. That's the end of our story for Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Next up, we have Corinne. Thank you.